Yeah, this is again LaTeX typesetting. And here we're looking at figures and graphics in LaTeX. Of course, if you're working on maybe your thesis or something, or maybe some kind of reports, you may be interested in putting pictures, graphics, and all of that. That is what this particular video is about, and I think you'll find it really interesting. How do you use figures and graphics in LaTeX? Okay. So, figures and graphics in LaTeX, learning objectives, insert and position images effectively. How do you do that? That's part of the things you're looking at. Use captions and labels for clarity, reference figures reliably, and control float behavior. Now, float is particularly important here because, LaTeX puts you in charge of your document. Things stay where you want them to stay. It's all about what you want. Then you also want to create subfigures and wrap text around images. So let's go ahead and talk about the starter preamble. Which starter packs, so to speak, do you need if you want to work with figures and graphics? Okay. So of course, document class, maybe article or whatever you choose. Here we choose 11.A4 paper. Then use package font encoder. We use T1. Then use package Latin Modern. That's the font. It's still relating to font. Then use package microtype. Use package graphics. Now, if you want to import pictures, graphics is particular. This is like the most important thing you need for pictures, in fact. And of course, sometimes you may need to use caption, subcaption. You want to wrap your figure, then use package float. Now, use package float is particularly useful if you want to force a picture to stay in a particular position. Very important. Then you can use package placings, use package group tabs, then use package hide links, hyperref. Then you can capitalize using clever ref, then graphics path. So you can define images, then use package A4 paper. So this is about geometry now, how you want the gaps around the document to look like. Then you can begin document and you have table of contents, new page, and so on. So that's like minimal starter preamble. Okay. Then using graphics for images now. So since you're talking about figures and graphics, so you can have maybe a section including images with text graphics. So here's an inline graphic image inserted at this exact point. So you have no indent, include graphics with 0.5 of text width an example, maybe you have an image called example dash image A. So that comes in. Of course, in the meaning project, you're going to see all of this. Then you have tips. Uh, Prefer width is 0.6 of text width for proportional scaling. So if you want proportional scaling, you want to use it, do this. You can also specify clearly what you want your width to be, the height and all of that. You can specify, specifically. Then you can use trim equals left bottom, right top clip, to crop edges. That is also very possible for an image. Then, you have image and you have figure. So the figure float and placement options, right? So for that, imagine you have a section. In this section, we'll talk about figure float and placement. So you have begin figure, HTPB. So all this HTPB is saying, where exactly should you put where should the figure go? Should it stay here? Should it go to the top or bottom? Or we place it. So that means that anywhere there is sufficient space, the image automatically goes there. That's the kind of thing we get to do when we write papers, right? Then you have centering, include graphics with 0.65 text width, example image B, then caption a floating figure with flexible placement, then label fig flex, then end figure. As you can see, then we auto ref fig flex. So you see this figure is labeled there so we can reference it. So floats move to good locations. So because of this HTTP thing now, so floats can move freely to wherever it finds a nice position. But then you can force floats, you can force the figure to stay where you want it to stay. And that is, so for this to happen, that's particularly where you need the use package floats. And then instead of using HTTP exclamation, you now use H, this capital H. So this capital H means whatever happens, this figure must be here. So if something has to move for the figure to stay where you want it to be, this is what H does for you. Okay. So then you have the centering, then you include it. So the graphics itself, that's what you have in this curly brace, wherever you have the include graphics line. Then caption, that's the title, exact placement using H. Label, you can say fig exact. So you can now refer to this later if you need to. Then talking about captions and labels. So imagine you have section caption labels and references. So see auto reg figure caption label for an example. So here now you have figure. So you have T here. So centering, include graphics with this example image C, whatever the image is. You're going to see that how we work with images as we go. Then caption, correct order, text backslash caption, blah, blah, blah. So this is how captions. So for caption now, so this is where caption is correct order. You have text backslash caption, then text backslash label, then you also have you label it. So we can also reference multiple figures like cref. So you can reference multiple figures like if you maybe you are referencing figures 5, 6, 7, and 8. So whatever labels you have given them, you can have fig flex, fig exact, and just list them in one cref like that. Then you can then have sub figures with sub caption. So in this case, so you have section, sub figures. So we're talking about sub figures. But the actual thing, if you want to call the figure, so you have begin figure, HTPB, all right, and then centering. Centering keeps the table in the center. Then you can begin sub figure. So it means you're putting more than one figure in one plot or in one frame, so to speak. So centering, now you have include graphics line width. So you have example image A, then you have caption left panel. So for that first figure, you give it a name. Then you now have fig left. That's for your figure to the left now. Okay, so imagine begin figure, that's overall. Then begin sub figure. Then this is label fig to the left now, left figure. Then you end that sub figure. So this part now, this part is just for that left figure, all right? That one sub figure right there. Then for the second sub figure, it starts from here down to this place, okay? So include another figure, maybe image B now, and that's the right panel, and that's the figure to the right like that, okay? So, and then the caption, two related views are sub figures like that, then label two panels. So we reference the group in autoref, figure two panels and the parts as autoref figure left and figure right. So now wrapping text around images now. So you can wrap text around images. So to wrap text around images, you have section wrap figures. All right. So of course, section wrap figure, then begin wrap figure. This is the whole chunk of that. So begin wrap figure 0.38 text width, blah, blah, blah. So it means you have your figure and then you have text around it. So this paragraph will wrap around the figure to the right. Use wrapped figures for small images, logos, and icons like that. So what about referencing and float control? So for referencing and float control, now you have section float control. So backslash float barrier, set counter, top number 2, set counter, top number 1, and so on and so forth. You have all this whole thing, then renew command. So you can have a 2-column example too. So you have begin figure, this star now, you're not numbering. So you have include graphics with this example image. So caption a wide figure across 2 columns. So you have a figure that covers 2 columns. That's what is happening in this situation. And I think it's the 0.19 that is working in that situation. So now when we work with images, we need to pay attention to some pitfalls, right? So these are some common pitfalls. Put image files in the same directory or set graphics path and use file extensions compatible with your LaTeX engine. Simple thing. So if you're working with Text Studio, for instance, wherever your main tech documents, that's why if you are putting graphics or figures, it is important that you have saved the tech file you are using. I mean, for Overleaf, it's easier, right? You just need to upload the images into Text Studio. I mean, into Overleaf rather, and then you can run it from there. So I will demonstrate the two before we finish. So put images in the same directory. All right. So for PDF LaTeX, you can use PNG, JPEG, PDF. So yeah, the images can even be in PDF format, but not EPS for PDF LaTeX. But for XA LaTeX and LUA LaTeX, you can have PNG, JPEG, PDF, EPS via EPS to PDF if needed. Then, if a figure won't appear, what happens? If a figure won't appear, you may need to compile twice. Sometimes you may need to compile twice to actually see the changes. So in that case, you have to resolve the references. Then check file name and extension. Then you can also ensure your image path is correct. So you can use centering inside the figure environment, not the center environment, to avoid extra vertical space. Then always place label and caption. Label after should come after caption. very important. So caption should not come before label. So it's after everything has been done, and if caption, then you can label, of course, before end end figure or something like that. Then prefer vector PDF for line art and raster, that's PNG or JPEG for photographs. So if you're working with line art, vector is a PDF is better. If you're working with photographs, PNG and JPEG would be better. So finally, we have a mini project. Let me say, okay, there's nothing after this. So I'm just going to copy this straight to Overleaf and I'll demonstrate how this works. So I copy this now. Okay. So then I'll go to Overleaf. I just go open Overleaf, which is one of the most used documents I have here. So in this case now, I have uh so okay, yeah, let me create another document. So I think I need to extend. Yeah, good. Maybe I should. Let me make it a bit shorter. Okay. So here now, I can, okay, this was an, oh, okay, I can remove this. I want to demonstrate everything from the scratch. Oh, okay, I think, yeah, this was here before, so no problems. So I'll right click now and I do new file. Then I call it article 7. Okay. Then I create that. So once that is done, so I can paste what I brought in. So not forgetting to remove this LaTeX thing that may cause an error. So I remove this whole thing and then the thing can automatically recompile and then we'll see what we have here. Okay. So, I mean, for this now, we have some content, table of content kind of thing here. So you see, but then, of course, the images are in there. So let's see the images we are missing. So for the first case now, we have, okay, I think I have to look at this place. So the first image, I have image 1. It's not available, image 2A, image 2B. But one thing, what I've done is that in the folder for this, so in the folder for LaTeX typesetting, I have created those images. So I just have image 1. This is image 1 now. Okay, this is my image 1. This is image 2. This is image 3, right? So then all I just need to do is to bring them in here. So I'm going to bring them in. I just have I upload this, then I select files, then I go to desktop, then this one. So I have a LaTeX typesetting. So then I have the 3 images, image 1, 2A, and 2B. So all this, then I open them up. Yeah, so they automatically get uploaded. So once they are done, well, yeah. So once they are done, now all I just need to do is, well, I mean, I can recompile this. So once I recompile, all the images will show. So now that they are done, we have, okay, now you see all the images are now there. Okay. Now, how did we get them to come to show up? Of course, first of all, okay, all this introduction and main illustration, they are not they don't have dots. So I want to put set dots somewhere. I can put it anywhere, especially something that doesn't need all these extras. So I can put it beside float. But it's better you don't put it anywhere that requires some extra thing like hide links and all that. So I've done that. So you're going to see this 1 and 2 now. You see they have dots now. Then I can make this 12 points also to make the fonts bigger. And it is auto recompiling. So yeah, the fonts become bigger. Good. All right. So now, how did we, so mini project illustrated reports with figures and references. Okay. So for the introduction, now this report demonstrates how to include and how to include and reference figures in LaTeX using graphics. So like I told you, graphics is like the most important thing. It's like most important, right? For uh if you don't need anything else, at least you need this one. Most important, apart from the regular documents class and everything. Now, having done that, so to bring the graphics in, right, we have as shown in Auto Figure Hero, the first, okay, where's that instruction now? As shown in figure 1. So you see this figure 1 has been labeled as Fig Hero, okay? So now this image 1 now, I make sure it is labeled according to exact spelling. All right, if the spelling changes, we're going to have an error like this small I. Now if it becomes capital I, then we automatically have a problem. Okay, it's not going to work because that picture will be gone. Yeah, because that, okay, it still works. Interesting. It shouldn't normally, it shouldn't work. It should not. So we have a problem with graphics, though it still runs. So yeah, so we have an error. So you can see we have three errors here. Now, by the time I resolve that, let me go to that now. So this is small. So the way it is spelled directly, image one. So then if you rerun it, then the error should not be there again, I think. Oh, still there. Okay. Okay. I think I know the challenge. So here should not be ash. It should be percent. Sorry. It should not be ash. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we are good now. We are good now. Okay. So like I was saying before, if this one is capital I, then we have it won't, this picture should disappear normally because that's not the name of the image. Interesting. It's still there. It shouldn't be there. Wow. Okay. It's there. Okay. Is it not case sensitive anymore? I thought it was case sensitive, but that's fine. Okay, so we have this like that. So if you want your own images, so upload the image and make sure the whatever the name of the image is exactly is what you have right here. Okay, so that's that. So if you want two figures, right? If you want two figures, if you want to compare two figures, so look at this whole thing now. So it's lengthier because you have two figures that you need to bring into this place. So here now, uh, you have begin figure, end figure, but then in between you have subfigure. This is the first subfigure. Okay, so this is the figure itself, image 2A, just like what I have here, image 2A. Okay, so this is variant A, and this is the label for it in case you need to refer to it, and this is image 2B. So you want to study how that works. So this is the second subfigure like this. So this H fill now is to create a space in between them for the two images now. So you see, we have a space in between the two of them. So this is like 2A and 2B. So a two-panel comparison of related visuals, something like this. That's what we have here now. Okay, so and then, we can also refer to them. The two images in the figure to illustrate different perspectives. How do we get to do this? So we can refer to figures 2A and 2B. So if you click on this now, so you see how we make that happen is we now consider a side-by-side comparison of related graphics. Each panel has its own subcaption to clarify differences. Refer to Fig, CMPA, CMPB. So, and you can see this is Fig, CMPA, Fig, CMPB. This is also referencing. So you can reference a table even before you get to the table. Very important. So as far as you label it correctly, so you can just reference it like that. And then the whole thing, so for details, and so the whole thing is now fig comparison. The whole table is that fig comparison, which is figure 2 that you get here. And then, but you can refer to each one separately based on their sub captions. So you have this caption for the first one, and you have this caption for the second one. So if you want to do the same thing in if you want to do the same thing in a text studio, all you just need to do is copy this, then uh and come here now. Okay, do I need to save this? Maybe I don't want to save this. I just want to delete it. Just want to discard it. Then I create a new file, then paste this. Then I have to save it because I'm bringing in new images. I have to save this and make sure it goes into the same directory like before. So let me make sure it goes into the same folder I am using for LaTeX typesetting like this. So here now, let me call these figures. Let me just call it LaTeX, something like this. So I call it LaTeX and I save. So now I already know that the images are in that folder. The images are in this folder right here. So I've said so the images, image 1 and 2. So I make sure I save that text studio into the same place. So once that is done now, I can then run. So, and once by the time I run it to automatically pick the images from that folder. So the process has started, as you can see here. Process exited normally. So you can see the images now automatically just show because they are in the same folder. So if I come into this folder now, automatically. So I'll be looking for LaTeX. Where is LaTeX? Yeah, this is LaTeX right here. So if I click on this, I have the document with the images automatically. All right. So like that. But of course, if you want to download the one for Overleaf, all you just need to do is you know, come here. So you just come and download PDF. So it's automatically downloaded. So you can get this one from downloads. So you come to downloads and you have that document right there. Okay. So yeah, and with that, we come to the end of this interesting video about how to uh, work with figures and graphics in LaTeX. Okay. Let me know how helpful this is for you. If there's something else you'd like me to try out, feel very free to let me know. And beware of the common pitfalls, like I demonstrated before. This one's that the pitfalls here. Beware. Okay. If you have subscribed already, thank you. If you have not subscribed, of course, you want to go ahead and subscribe right now. Hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. Then you can become a member of the channel by clicking on join. You have 2 levels of membership. Ultimately, comment, like, and share so that more people can have access to the great content I have going on here. So, like, come your way again. Keep doing LaTeX right. Bye.